at Dasan Station. Honestly, you could replace like 2 of the maps in the new map pool with Dasan Station, and it would genuinely be an improvement. That's how bad it is. Honestly, it's terrible. It's so bad. I can't believe it. Oh my god. Okay, enough bitching from me, and I'll deal with it when the time comes. To the top left-hand side, our Blue Zerg from XED Sports is Reynor. Going up against the Red Terran player to the bottom right-hand side from Team Liquid, uThermal. I really miss Arch of Janus. That map was gold. That map was dreadful. I actually think that map would be very fun if players could survive the first few minutes of the game. That would have been very, very different. But anyways, Reynor versus uThermal right now, guys. And the next 2 matches after this is that our next 2 matches after this will be just a little bit kind of between. It's going to be the last 2 Clem matches. Clem versus Reynor, Clem versus uThermal. The order we do them in will depend on the result of this series. We'll talk a bit about that in a bit, but basically we'll be playing them in an order which helps to nullify redundant games, basically. So that's what we're looking towards here, as we are just getting set to go. Are the map pools bad by race or just appearance rise? That's Montian. How's it going, Montian? Honestly, I feel like the map pool that's been made is they're just bad maps. Like, they're just not fun maps to play on. Like, Redshift is a bit of a meme map. Like, it just wasn't ever meant really for competitive play, I don't think. It's one of those maps that's like a Dasan Station. It's just like, and the other ones are just so large and not fun. They're just open, they're boring. It's just not fun. It's so uninteresting. This map pool we have right now is one of the best map pools I think we've had in quite a while, personally. That new map pool is just absolutely... I'm questioning. I don't even know. Anyways, we do see this Reaper coming up through the center of the map. TVZ here, this best of 3, and we are going to get this off and away. Just going to be coming in towards the upper left-hand side, and just let's see what's going on. A grenade goes down, some roof drones going to be bounced backwards, and just going to be seeing this Reaper just having a little bit of a dance here. So nothing too fancy. You see a couple of queens coming up on the main and the natural. I mean, obviously just very early game stuff that we expect to see. Our first TVZ of the day, we'll see 2 of these, Clem versus Reynor, to follow as well. As we'll see 1 drone being picked off right away there. And oh, that Reaper just trying to get out of the main base now. Looks as though he'll just about manage it down the left-hand side. Another Overlord is coming out into the center. More Hellions on the way out, and the starport coming up as well. We haven't seen uThermal play TVZ yet today, of course, and his TVP was very mech-oriented, and I mean, would be surprised to see some mech out of him here on Catalyst in the Terran versus Zerg as well. He's definitely been enjoying the TVZ mech, and this definitely could be another great time to crack this out. So let's see if he does. We do see Hellion count is continuing to rise at the moment, a few of them coming out in towards the center. Link speed is about to finish, and we do see the Viking currently on the way from the starport. And SCV just going to jump back down to the natural, and we're going to be seeing another couple of Hellions coming through. And we do see Reynor just under attack by Marine. Retro on drops. Oh my god, we're in for some fun. Look at that, a Ghost Academy from uThermal. I love this build, by the way. It became, you know, Special First did it in the WCS, and it was like, whoa, what? And then it became one of these builds that really is mixed into series every now and then. The Ghost Hellbat push, where the idea is you just push with the Ghosts to kind of with the Hellbats to kind of give you a bit of an extra oomph, snipe down the Queens, get some extra damage done, and it can go a long way, surprisingly a long way in terms of how much you can get done with this here. As we do have the Viking hunting around, and already picks off an Overlord to the left-hand side. What's up, Lucky JJC? Coming in with a fresh new subscription as well. Thank you so much. We're pushing towards 400 subscribers, guys, which is awesome to see. We are currently at 357 now, I believe. Awesome to see that number rising. I don't think we're going to hit 400 again soon, because I do go away this weekend, for example. But awesome to see the sub count kind of staying above 350. That's really kind of hype. So thank you so much for the support. Really appreciate it. Glad you guys are enjoying the stream and the content we're putting out. Thank you, Lucky JJC, for the fresh new sub. Welcome to the family. Viking gonna damage away that Overlord, and does take it down, hitting the Reynor into supply block. Ooh, That supply block kind of hurts. There is roaches already coming out here from Reynor, so he's going to be able to prepare. Gets out of the supply block pretty quick, honestly, as we are going to see that Viking will get the kill. There's no transfuse available, so another overload kill and backs away before the Queens get there. Hellion run by into the main base. Reynor's taking a lot of damage here. 3 workers down so far, now up to 7. Hellion's lifting up into the medevac and backing away down the left-hand side. Roaches coming around the right-hand side as well. 12 more Zerglings on the way up, 16 more Zerglings on the way up, and Armory coming through from uThermal as well. So Armory is about to finish here, and another supply depot also dropping down. And the Hellions continue to run away as we do have these Roaches and Ravagers continue to set up here right now, and well, getting ready to keep on coming down to the south side. A couple of Ghosts will just get a couple of snipes off already, taking down a few of those Roaches before the attack can even really commence. The Ravager morphing. There's just a flood of units right now, but honestly, I'm not sure how much you're going to be able to do here, Reynor. Doesn't feel like it should be that much. Ooh, well, that's a nice dive in onto a few of the Hellbats there. That Ghost gets caught. That's very painful. A Ghost is obviously very useful in this defense. Another couple of snipes would have gone a long way. The CPs were already pulled in. Remember, uThermal's on a triple CC. He's already 9 workers ahead, so this has to be a lot of damage. Those are some good corrosive vials, but with the Cyclones arriving, with the Viking being here, I don't see a way in which you continue this. And even though uThermal never got to go for the attack, the defense is perfect. I don't think Reynor was really meant to attack into this. This is really not the sort of play that should have been made at all, as you see a few more Lings to the right-hand side, a few more Lings up in the center, and the Ravagers starting to come in on the left-hand side as well. Well, that's to get rid of a Ravager there in the front, and we are going to be seeing Zerglings try and dive into the natural once more, while also there's a few of them in the middle of the map, maybe seeing where they can go. The Slings don't really do enough. Again, 3 SCVs of 20 seconds of production for triple CC really isn't much at all. We're going to see another couple of SCVs going down. That's a dead refinery rather than a cancel. 75 minerals, it's not the end of the world, of course, from uThermal's point of view. We are still going to be seeing those couple of Cyclones, Hellions splitting up. Seeing what else they can do right now. Hellions still pushing on forwards. And we are going to be seeing, a couple more corrosive bars still dropping into play here. I mean, still chasing away though. Man, these Hellions are in a little bit of trouble to these Zerglings. Does transform into Hellbats, but we'll lose 2 of them in the process. And Reynor's just doing what Reynor does, which is, despite how badly this went for him, he just keeps up the pressure. He seems to just be everywhere, and it's so frustrating and difficult to deal with. In the end, uThermal will hang on. And uThermal still is in a good position, right? +1 is so late for Reynor, Roach Speed is so late, but at least he evened out the work count a little bit more than what he did before. Initially, this wasn't looking good for him until the last half minute. Then he really did take an income lead and all the rest. But uThermal gets the 3rd base down in location now. We'll start to rebuild the Warlocks, which have been causing him some issues, the lack of those. And we do see a 4 moving out over to the left-hand side to join up with more Hellbat Cyclones and the Ghost. Scan into the main base just to see this is still a lair as well, just to see, okay, well, you know, nothing too crazy, not rushing up to Hive after that or anything. Just as we have a moment or two of calmness, what's up, Monty? And coming with the $25 donation. Monty and the hero of so many StarCraft streams. I feel as though, I know this is said a lot of the time, but it really is true. I feel it's very impressive that whenever you go to a StarCraft stream, you can almost, in some ways, see Monty's name somewhere as a recent donator or top tier. It's crazy. Monty, thank you so much for the $25. Give me some love in the chat for Monty and esports, a StarCraft 2E for hero. Thank you very much. Pushing forwards here though, uThermal back in the game. It's starting to make something happen once more. I feel Reynor has too much for uThermal to really truly push, and I think uThermal has realized it, as he's just going to be backing away back down to the south side. A 4th command center on the way up here from uThermal. And well, some Lings setting off to the right. There's actually the wall, or the rocks down here, so he's not going to be able to push in there very easily. There's still a Ghost left over too. I mean, what do you even snipe down? Maybe just the Ravagers if you can. Going to be having these few Lings going to loop back around as well now again. Ravagers starting to pick their way through that deeper wall. It's still only +1 attack. This is almost like a second all-in here from Reynor with +1 attack this time around. The tanks do a lot of damage to those units initially move on in. Hellbats deal with the Lings on the ramp. That was very nicely done by uThermal so far. Snipes coming down where he can with this Ghost. So far so good, but he has to keep kiting with the 4s. He's definitely brought the army supply advantage back towards being a little bit more even. 4 still being kept alive here. It's going to be so important. And it's what's reinforcing. Mostly Zerglings. I mean, there is some Roaches on the way, but the Roaches obviously take a long time to really come into play. The medevac micro on the 4s is amazing. Isn't it crazy you used to be able to do that with siege tanks? Man, that shit was broken, wasn't it? Well, the fours do back away and they keep themselves alive, and that is so important here in this defense because, again, this really is like a secondary all-in. No saturation gases or anything on the fourth base. There is absolutely no further upgrades from Reynor. He just now starts his +2 attack. And so uThermal defending here and stabilizing just a little bit is going to put him into the position he wants to be in. As now, well, coming down the south side, Roaches and Ravagers going to try and push on through. Let's see what he can try and go for here. Is going to be seeing Command Center. Fourth already lifted up, getting ready to move in position. Ooh, does he have Lings on? Does he have Hellions to deal with those Zerglings on the back side? The tanks go down. I mean, they got a lot of damage done initially, but there's no answer to the Zerglings at the moment. uThermal's still kind of okay because there isn't much of a follow-up in terms of Roach Ravager anymore. Definitely needs a couple Hellions, though. He's actually making 6 Cyclones. I guess that does the job as well. Anything that just attacks quickly to deal with the Zerglings rather than the fours, which have masses of overkill. He uses one of the fours right now to keep it alive for so very long. 17 kills on the second four right now. If few SCVs will pull in, uThermal is still just trying to hang in there. Reynor still just spamming units across the map wherever he can. Four might have to lift up here yet again. It's taking as much damage as it can. Medevac goes down. Tank goes down as Reynor broken through. The four falls as well, but now there's so many Cyclones coming out. I kind of feel like the Cyclones might just be able to deflect them. So +2 vehicle weapons and no Carapace upgrades on the Roaches. This is the sort of scenario where Cyclones excel because they do so much damage so quickly. The attack upgrades benefit them massively. Without armor upgrades or Carapace upgrades to counteract that, it's very, very painful. Now we're going to be seeing these Zerglings trying to dive on in once again. And we do see those few Zerglings just coming up the left-hand side as well. Roaches from Reynor in the center of the map. A few Ravagers gathering together. Continue to set up here as we do see that burrow coming up on the lair in the main base. 22 more Zerglings currently on the way. Another scan in the center of the map. And we are just going to be seeing a little bit more crew spread being cleaned on out here as the Cyclones still just sat just to the side of these rocks. And we're going to see Corrosive Bars, Roaches, Ravagers clean that up once again. Pushing through to give another attack pathway open for Reynor to maybe try and abuse here in the near future. We do see the fourth base from uThermal established, a Planetary Fortress as well, so it stands strong in that location. And again, I think these Cyclones with the current upgrades are just going to be monstrous against the Zerg player. We've already kind of seen it a little bit, but in higher numbers especially, I actually think they're going to do way better than Cyclones usually should in this sort of game. You know, usually you rely on the tanks, etc., to kind of deal with what is kind of a massive unit here. Another scan from uThermal sees there's no hive. This is still just lair tech. Well, he's going to leave it to kind of the Planetary Fortress and a few units here to deal with this initially. The Cyclone's actually cutting off reinforcements. Look how fast those Ravagers die top left. Cyclones to the right ready to defend as well. A few SCVs going down because Lings are in the third base. Again, it's the lack of Hellions are letting those Zerglings do so much. Or just, I guess, Cyclones as well can also deal with the Zerglings, which is fine, but there's just nothing in location that time around. Still pushing in. We're going to be seeing, oh, the Roaches and Ravagers here are going to be able to push those Cyclones back. Planetary Fortress is here as well. Oh, it's a little bit, it's so tense, these defenses from uThermal. He's losing so much economy again as Roaches dive on by. You can see the resources lost is so much more favorable to uThermal than it is for Reynor, but that doesn't matter because these Roaches have shut down so much of uThermal's economy throughout the game. Well, these Roaches in trouble now as we see the turret there will give the vision to get rid of the tunneling close plate. And that burrow was being effective for a while. Again, it's just pure Roach Ravager from Reynor consistently trying to break through this defensive setup of uThermal, who's just sat on his own 4 bases. Reynor still without a 5th base of his own as well. And as we do have, well, to the left-hand side, Roaches and Ravagers getting ready to push forwards. This 5th base, probably just a cancel on it. If uThermal sees it in time, it's going to be a kill, though. Didn't quite see it in time there. Again, has he just overbuilt Cyclones here? Is the lack of tanks going to start hurting him now? I mean, I think you can always argue yes, but at the same time, you know, I still feel these Cyclones with +2/+1 against no Carapace. I still think they can do a lot. It's just you can't do a lot from range. And look at this again, just Lings running by into the main because that wall is down. The lack of wall-offs throughout the game has just been so painful to watch time and time again. And it's just because Reynor took them down early in the game. It's an advantage he had from the earlier attack, but he's continued to press. 19 SCVs go down for uThermal, but he's starting to clean up those Zerglings, and as he does, the army of Reynor definitely isn't strong enough to break on through the Cyclone line. But with some Roaches to maybe try and do something more. Cyclone and a couple of tanks in the main will clean up. And again, despite uThermal losing so many workers, he's still only 5 or 6 behind. That constant SCV production has kept him healthy in economy, healthy enough to hang in there time and time again. He has to get these workers back on gas, and it's actually an essential little something for him here. No missile turret on the third base means those roaches can just run on by. If uThermal's not paying attention, he can jump up on top of this, but he sees it, so he has a preemptive scan just before Reynor's really ready to pounce. And that is nice, because it means the roaches don't have a full surround. The Ravagers can't then cross the battle reliably. uThermal now 20 army supply ahead. It's starting to get a little bit more serious here, as Reynor's put some money in towards teching up a hive, a Hydralisk den. These are structures which will help Reynor in the near future, but they won't help him right now, and so the pressure really has let up. It really has let uThermal stabilize, and I'm wondering now if there's some way for uThermal to maybe just push forwards into this and to get something done. I mean, obviously there's the Hydras coming through there, even more flimsy against the Cyclones. The question is, are they going to be... well, they're more flimsy against the Cyclones, but... I mean, you have to get to them in the first place anyways. If they sit behind this amount of Roach Ravager, they're probably going to be just fine. Group of Spines coming up. 4 Vipers on the way. And another few Cyclones just continuing to come out here. Group of Spines coming up. 4 more Vipers. That +3 missile attack upgrade on the Evolution Chamber as well. The Cyclones pushing in. They will be able to clean out a good amount of creep here in the middle of the map. Well, it's definitely calmed down just a little bit, but I'm kind of fearing for Reynor in that scenario, because it feels like uThermal, he needed things to calm down to be able to set up the tank count to get himself into that better position. But now, well, now Reynor's really got to find something in a major fight. Yes, he's going to have Vipers, but uThermal's army is just insanely powerful. I'm not sure how good the Vipers are against such a Cyclone. It's crazy, because usually you see Hellbats, right? Usually you see kind of Hellbats kind of being the tanking unit and the unit in the front. It's Cyclones for uThermal, which is actually kind of insane, because it's kind of like an upgraded version of the Hellbat. It'll do insane damage, it'll tank a lot. They're very expensive though, so losing them can definitely be painful here. I think Blinding Clouds are going to be very important. But it looks as though our 5th base is already on its way down. Some tanks. Well, a couple of sieged up tanks were left in defense. Now some unsieged tanks are getting damage done as well. And as you can see, this army of Reynor just is not standing up to the test of uThermal right now. If you unsieges, I don't feel like you should go back. I feel like this is going well enough for him to just continue forwards. If you can get up this ramp here, perfect, because then he can set up in the concave. He can actually force Reynor to come through the choke point into defensive position on his natural, and that's always going to be painful. You can see that uThermal's not sending too much forwards. Oh my god. He kills a Viper, gets a yoink onto a 4, which gets saved by the medevac. The Blinding Cloud isn't well positioned. It isn't going to affect anything here. Cyclone's still pushing in. Evo Chamber goes down. More Roaches and Ravagers continue to gather on the 3rd base, and we are going to be seeing this hatchery, this Roach Roaring, going to get taken down as well. Still pushing forwards here. Another Blinding Cloud didn't really do anything. This time it's a little bit better, pushing the Cyclones further forwards. Reynor's starting to deal some damage here, but uThermal, yes, Cyclones to kind of still bring into this fight. The 4 goes down. I think uThermal just has so much on the map that these last couple of Cyclones do go down. He did kill a natural hatchery. He denied the 5th base. Reynor's already half mineral patches on the 3rd. The 4th is heavily oversaturated because he has nowhere to send those drones. He's about to send them to this base right here, but he saw the Hellions coming, and because of that, he pulled them back, realizing, well, that's just a death trap waiting to happen. uThermal pops in, kills the Hydra for free, gets out of there. This game is not over just yet, but it's being back and forth. These players slamming themselves into each other time and time again, because it really has been Reynor throughout the game so aggressive, but then uThermal's playing an aggressive comp of his own with so many Cyclones mixed into this. Broodlords are on the way out. Great Spire's coming up, but honestly, it's going to take so long. I mean, how do you afford Corruptors and then Broodlords right now? I don't think you do, and I think that's the thing. uThermal has Reynor on a weak enough economy where the Broodlords are not going to be viable. 600 gas left on this natural. There's 1,000 in the main. There's really barely any mining going on. 1.5 bases is not going to support Broodlord production. You know, maybe you get 5 or 6 up, but honestly, 5 or 6, that's dealable for the Terran player. You know, that's manageable. You can deal with that. You can already see the, I can't even remember the name of the career. The rapid fire launches of the Cyclones is here. But this many Cyclones is actually kind of an answer to the Broodlords that you can lock on and kill them very quickly. Well, I just don't feel like the Grand Army of Reynor is really kind of standing up to much in the near future. A couple of tanks still positioned off to the left-hand side, and we are going to be seeing this army of uThermal. We're going to pull back around the right as well, see where else he can get to. 20 minutes in this game, uThermal with the upper hand despite the endless onslaught of Zerg we saw earlier. Look at that army supply graph. You can see Reynor really had it, but uThermal held on, steadily built up his army. Eventually took one big fight, and from there he's stabilized and he's really shown us just how powerful this army is now. uThermal going to start mining bottom left. He has a command center ready to float out into that position. Denying this right-hand side base so crucial again, because it is the sort of base which could maybe bring Reynor back into this if he can mine from it for just a little while. But is he able to mine from it for just a little while? No, he really can't. Here we go, we're going to see some lock-ons onto the Vipers, and those are expensive losses again and again that are coming through here from Reynor. You can't just afford to replace Vipers every single time, not even a big fight happens, but a slight skirmish. You know, he just lost a couple of Vipers there, and that's 2 more he has to rebuild. That's a lot of gas and minerals. Well, a Grey Spire finished, but he just doesn't have the money to build Corruptors and then Broodlords. I think he knows if he tries to build Corruptors, he's just going to die while building the Corruptors then Brewers, because it doesn't, you know, it happens quite quick, and uThermal is ready to pounce. If he sees a moment of weakness, he is going to be on top of that army, and he is going to be ready to deal so much damage there. As we see a drone getting picked off. uThermal is still just set off to the left side here with this lone Cyclone. Roaches and Hydras come in. We do pick off the Cyclone right there, as we do have Roaches just burrowing. They're going to pop up, and we do see a few of those Roaches going down. So a few of them is picked off. Again, a couple of creep tumors were cleaned out at the same time. That's also something uThermal has done. He's denied all map control of the Zerg. Some defensive tanks who's going to deal with this Zerg run by very easily. Those Roaches kill absolutely nothing. They force a scan. Okay, I mean, so what? A scan, you know, a scan at this stage of the game is a scan, right? You know, he's got triple orbital. He hasn't really needed to mule for a while. He actually doesn't have that much energy on the orbitals. He doesn't really need to mule too much, though. I guess he's not high up on money, but he doesn't have much gas to spend either. A few more Cyclones coming through. uThermal giving Reynor some time, which I think is fine, because again, Reynor's economy has been so limited. He's only just now starting to get this base up over here, and uThermal realizing that starts to come into position. Parasitic bombs maybe on the Vikings. I'm not sure what the best call is right now. Just a bit of everything. Perhaps Blinding Clouds, a couple of abducts. Those tanks that got brought forward are actually kind of happy to just sit here. The Liberators do enough as the Vikings actually go to town on the Overlords. That's going to be GG. uThermal takes a 23-minute game, number 1. Just sneak energy from all the other energy drinks I used to drink. So there you go. Alright guys, let's do this. The bottom right-hand side, our blue Terran player is Team Liquid's uThermal. To the top left-hand side is the red Zerg from XCD Sports, Reynor. Thank you so much, Optimus, for joining the Wardy family once again as well. Do appreciate it, mate. Hope you're doing well and all is good. One bad thing about the Sneak Shake is that my sweaty hands are too good at removing the paint from it. That is actually a little bit true. I did mess up. It wasn't my hands, but I think it was I actually spilled some water on it and it made the paint a little bit messed up. That's the one slight issue of the Shaker, but it still gets the job done. It still gets the job done. Alright guys, game number 2 of this series, and Reynor against uThermal. He's a 1-0 lead for uThermal right now. With a 2-0 lead here, he would just have to beat Clem to guarantee himself first place in this group with a 3-0. So let's see how that'll go. Alright, so get set up into this, looking to see what's going to happen. I'm going to see what's going on. How's everyone doing in the chat? The first game was insane. If you guys have just tuned in, it was a really fun mech game where uThermal had to hang on for an absolute eternity against the... It was kind of... It's really weird to say, but like it was initially an all-in from Reynor. He was down 10 workers, he was all in on that attack. And it didn't go well for him, but then the multitasking, the Roaches and Lings everywhere started to do enough damage to allow him to go for a second wave of an attack. Which also did a bit of damage, and it kind of looked close at times, but eventually it didn't break through. And if, you know, at that stage, you get to the point, you could see uThermal, he was scanning the main base, he was looking for the hive timing, and it just wasn't existing at all. And at that point he knew, okay, well, I can just sit back, build up, and then when I do attack, you can just have a hive. You know, you're only going to have Vipers at most off of that hive. You're not going to have, you know, Broodlords or anything along those lines. And if that's the case, then I'm going to be so happy and completely fine to just be, you know, taking my time before pushing on in. So, great sort of read by uThermal. And that's what I mean by, like, the all-in from Reynor. Like, he slowed down a lot of his tech multiple times over to attack, and to focus purely on just as many roaches and lings as possible, accompanied by reinforcements. You know, against mech, you don't necessarily have to make that many units. You know, you can just tech up a little bit faster and get some support units that will go a long way. The idea was he wanted to outmass his opponent as soon as possible, as we are going to be seeing that Reaper. Just moving around over to the left-hand side here. And is going to be coming in and just going to get a nice little pick off on that Crypt Tumor. So Crypt Tumor gets picked off here. Roach comes down on the natural expansion. We do have the third base off to the right-hand side. A few Zerglings here from Reynor just sat around, ready to maybe get something done. Banshee is going to be coming up on the main base, as well as a couple more Hellions currently in the production tab as well. So uThermal will just continue to gather together here. This Marine starts to work its way through the Overlord, so a little bit more damage being dealt as those Hellions of uThermal will head out onto the map. And again, obviously the Overlord here is just looking to scout. He will see triple orbital. This was a very fast free base from uThermal. Kind of one of those kind of greedier players. He actually straight up cancels the cloak in front of Reynor, and he's going to commit to the Stim and Bio play this time around. The idea of this is that it's giving you a cloakless Banshee to help defend against aggressive attacks, while you establish yourself on the free bases, which you've set up very early in the game, which generally delays production and hence makes aggressive roach attacks very difficult to deal with. Again, Hellions and Banshee just in the middle. Again, the idea of this isn't necessarily to harass too much, it's to keep you safe. A couple more units popping out will actually keep you safe from this run by as well, so uThermal not really allowing Reynor to get anything done so far. I think one single Zergling snuck out of there alive, but that's about it. As I see the Warlock starting to come on through, third base will already lift up and move down into position here on Acid Plant. One of the maps that will be remaining in the map pool for the next season of play. We just found out the new map pool today, and it starts just 2 weeks from now. Hey, does that make sense? It starts 2 weeks from now? Does that mean we're going to have new maps for Austin? Huh? Really? That'd be kind of weird. Anyways, we are going to be seeing the 1-1 upgrades coming through from Reynor still, the melee upgrades that is. And we do have the Stim Pack 1-1 attack upgrades also from uThermal on the natural. Again, reactor coming on through. Just looking to see that kind of typical setup of triple racks, factory starport, getting ready to go. It's going to be tank production initially. It's a great map to play tanks on because of this position right here. You see jump a couple of tanks behind these rocks, and then all of a sudden, you are in range to protect units which can attack the hatchery. So if you drop some Marines here, they can hit this hatchery, and if anything runs in, you know, melee units, such as Ling Bane, which is what Reynor has, if those units run in to defend, you lift up, you back away, and the tanks will get some free damage done. So it's a very powerful position. I love this Banshee finding some information out, seeing those Lings coming in the right-hand side. Fortunately, Marines and tanks nearby enough to deal with those, and the Lings is unsuccessful, and now completely shut down as Hellions are just like, hello! What's up, guys? Every single Zergling falls. uThermal is shutting down every attempt of Reynor to be aggressive at the moment. Absolutely crazy, as we are going to be seeing those Hellions coming back around the right, and, well, some Ling Bane of Reynor sitting on the left-hand side too, a few more drones coming in. Tanks and Marines will continue to push on up through the left-hand side here, getting ready to push on in towards that set of rocks, and again, I mean, that's the sort of position we're talking about, and Reynor hasn't been able to really shut this down yet. So here we go, tanks setting up, and again, it's such a powerful position to play. Looks as though he's going to bring one tank onto the other side too, so he'll try and protect this here. Just a few Marines sitting forward for the moment, but again, look at this, the Marines, they're just going to do so little, actually, the Marines themselves, but the tanks feel, clean up so many Banes. I am surprised he put a tank on this other side. I guess it gives him a bit more reach, but then it's very exposed. In this case, it does indeed go down. Hydras on the way up as well definitely give you a bit more kind of a pushing potential against those tanks. They definitely will be a little bit sturdier than the Ling Bane on their own, but still weak to tanks, right? They will still take a beating if they are going to sit in range, siege tank range. 2 more medevacs will bring reinforcements, and uThermal will not be done with this just yet. This attack is so powerful. 2-2 upgrades coming through right now for uThermal. An armory on the way up as well, and we do see those Zerglings going to come around the side, and, well, they're going to grab themselves 1 Marine already, plus 1 vehicle weapons coming in. Must go augments on the Hydra's den as well, and just going to see uThermal moving back, and we're just going to see those Lings under heavy fire there. A lot of them going down. Marines picking up a few kills without much issue. Fourth base on the bottom left, and that is going to be a few more Marines continuing to gather together now. Marines and tanks of uThermal will come up through the center of the map, and again, just some Lingbane Hydra from Reynor setting up as well. Muscular Augments from Reynor will also start in the top side of the map here. We are going to be seeing a couple of tanks from uThermal having to siege up and just getting ready to maybe fire away. It's a similar position to before. uThermal has kept up a good amount of momentum so far. He's cleaned up a lot of the creep. Ooh, actually going to see Reynor diving in on this, but he is missing an army to the right-hand side. So while uThermal's missing some Marines, Reynor was missing more. Look how much Lingbane Hydra's just sat here and didn't even make an effort to come and join into this engagement. Small shame as we're going to see those Marines actually find that army, and uThermal's probably a bit like, huh, why didn't you use that already, buddy? Like, that's a bit strange. Continue to run away here. He'll come into the corner, and it looks as though he'll keep on counting more Marines. Will be the answer to pushing that away. Man, this is so technical here. You can see that Reynor setting up into a big surround. Here we go, from the far left to the far right. Units everywhere. uThermal just picks up to disengage from the right-hand side. It looks as though Reynor will overwhelm. There's a couple of tanks actually going to stand strong, and that means those Hydras have to back away. Wow. I wonder if Reynor was just trying to wait for more units here. Bit of a weird moment. Either way, it looks as though with a couple of tanks staying alive and the Marines gathered back up, it's uThermal that has the push forwards that's still continuing. More creep team is being dealt with at the moment. We'll see another Hydra in a little bit of trouble there, and we are going to be seeing more Overlords continue to drop on down as well. More Hydras continue to get picked off, and this is going to be the Marines continue to work their way through this hatchery. So hatchery continues to fall, and this is going to be, at this stage, well, this is pretty much it, right? I mean, Reynor's just lost a base, and he hasn't been able to clean up this army at all. uThermal looking amazing right now as Reynor. Man, you know, it's been a long time since I've seen Reynor look as though he's struggled in a series. Like, I feel as though whenever I've seen Reynor lose in a matchup, he's been going down fighting. But at least, you know, game 1 was obviously very kind of back and forth. Game 2, I'd say this has been pretty clean from uThermal. I don't think Reynor's had a chance at all here. Like, it feels as though uThermal has been in control from the very start. Reynor's about to get Hive Tech, which will help if he can actually get some of the Hive Tech units out, but what's the chance uThermal gives him long enough on 4 bases to get a good amount of Ultras, etc., which could really be the answer to maybe pushing uThermal away. And even that, a couple of Liberators already coming out. I mean, the production is there for uThermal to deal with that bit of attack as well. This hatchery top right-hand side is going to be going down. More Zerglings coming down to the bottom. I mean, more expansions coming through here from this Terran player. 5th base to 6th base here from uThermal also. Just continue to come on in as we see the couple of Liberators, Marines, and tanks coming over the left-hand side, getting ready to push up in towards this 4th base location. And we are going to be seeing, well, I mean, a stim here. He doesn't even need a stim. Those Lings are not going to be enough. Loses a lot of them again. Reynor is just bleeding out units as uThermal is just rotating again and again to keep his opponent off of a 4th base. Reynor goes for the Vipers. I mean, he doesn't really have time or the money to get in towards an Ultralis cabin, an Ultralis, before he dies in this game. Vipers, they're a little bit faster because you can build them as soon as the hive is done. You can start getting energy on them. Will they be enough? I don't really think so. It's definitely the better decision rather than trying to get Ultras up, I think, because I think trying to go into Ultras is just sort of a death wish waiting to happen, or it's just sort of like, it's a massive gamble. It's like, okay, please don't do anything with any of your army for the next 3 minutes while I get these ready to go. And this with the Vipers, they'll be able to join in what should be maybe the last fight if uThermal is able to take it decently. At least they can maybe swing a battle if uThermal severely messes things up, but, well, we are going to be seeing the Marines continue to fight here. Lings continuing to fall, and as Lings keep on going down, the run-bys aren't doing anywhere near as much as they usually do. Reynor's this player that plays so quickly, he plays all over the place, and we're going to see those Banes do crash in and get rid of all of those Marines. And we're just going to be seeing the Marines coming back towards the center of the map. A few tanks on the right-hand side as well for uThermal. Going to want to unsiege and come back in towards the center too, and in general, uThermal looks as though he can just keep on pressing forwards. He's on a supply lead. He's cleaning out Lings after Lings after Lings. The couple of units which he loses are so replaceable for him. Liberators are putting him, putting Reynor into a tough position. He's still only on 3 bases here. Cancelled 4th, killed 5th. It just doesn't come up for him. He just can't get anything going his way. That's an abduct on a tank. Okay, he gets a kill on a unit. That really is the only thing he's shouting about right now. Another couple of tanks being grabbed on in. I mean, okay, the Vipers are doing something here, but at this stage, I think uThermal can just stim and A move forwards. Okay, maybe be a bit careful of the Banes, but those Hydras, The Hydras only have +1 missiles as well. That's what's crazy. He's got so many of them. He's so reliant on them now, but they only have one single upgrade. Link counterattack around here. I'm not even sure that these tanks are still meant to be here, but either way, they're going to actually get taken down by those Lings. I think that's a moment of serendipity for Reynor. While his attack gets scanned, he can still accidentally kill 3 tanks. But for the Lings, really not a bad trade. Vipers are going to be throwing down some blinding clouds. It's kind of the first row of uThermal units that get taken down here. Now turn to fight. He's got so much Liberator and tank support. In fact, maybe not even that many tanks now. They've all been killed off. But the Liberator support does so much damage here. And continue to push on through. Those Hydras are just continuing to drop. Lots of Hydras going down. He's actually going to be in there and able to push this away somehow, some way. I guess uThermal just has so many reinforcements at home. I guess it's because he's building Ghosts and Liberators. He's losing the straight up kind of like power pushes or power units that can kind of just push through very easily. And he's gaining more of the, okay, well, these units, they don't come out as quickly. They're not going to stack up or mass up as quick. But they are definitely going to be able to kill your army. GG from Reynor as he sees expansions all over the place from uThermal. And uThermal